Well, hello there. With Halloween being right around the corner, I thought we would start things off with the queen of Halloween herself, Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. So if you'd like to see how to get this look, then keep watching. To start off this look, I'm going to be priming my face with the Ben Nye Cream color in white. I'm going to be applying this all over my face with a foundation brush. Now the reason why I went in with a foundation brush versus a sponge is I was able to cover more surface with the brush. Eventually I will go in with a sponge to blend everything out, but the key to this look is making sure everything is opaque. Take your time with this. The more time you take with this, the easier it's going to be later on down the road when you do apply pigment on top. Trust me, I was dealing with many issues later on down the road as I was trying to speed things up. So just make sure that you take your time and blend everything out. Eventually I do go in with a sponge and press everything into my face just to make sure everything is blended out. I would, however, recommend not using a sponge to apply the product as you want it to be as pigmented as possible and as opaque as possible. As you see, I first started off by applying the pigment to my skin with a foundation brush, then I got really lazy and I started patting it in with a sponge. This I would not recommend. Just stick to the brush, people, stick to the brush. What you're gonna notice is that by using the sponge versus the foundation brush, my face is more opaque than my body, and there was a lot of issues because of that. Now we're going to go into a blue eyeshadow. This is by Ben Nye and it's Cinderella Blue. And I'm going to be patting this onto your skin. You want to pat and press, do not blend. By blending, you're going to move and smudge the white and your skin is going to pop through. So just press this onto your face and make sure that you're making really weird faces and getting it into your nooks and crevices of your face. What I would recommend if you want to make your life a little bit more easier than I did, I would actually skip this altogether, skip the cream, skip the powder, and actually go in with either a liquid or a water paint all over your face. Either get a light blue or a grayish teal, something that's similar to Sally's skin, but that's going to be easier to blend out. I should have gone with that, but the lady recommended this, and now I know. So if you want to make your life a little bit easier, definitely use some of that. It's more expensive, but you're going to get a better result. If not, you can follow this and just make sure you take your time and blend everything out. Now, this step right here I would not recommend. As you're going to see, my face is completely opaque, whereas my lower half of my body is not. And it's because I keep using a sponge thinking that it'll speed up the process. You don't want to speed up the process, I guarantee that. Now, this step is completely optional, but I wanted to give my face and body a little bit more dimension. So I went in with the Ben Nye Navy Blue eyeshadow, and I contoured my cheekbones, my temples, my forehead, basically anywhere that I wanted to look gaunt and very skeleton-like. I know that Sally is a ragdoll, but she did have more of a gaunt face. Now to blend everything out so that my skin wouldn't peek through, I did go back in with Cinderella and I pressed it onto my skin to blend everything out. As you'll see, I continually go back and forth between applying the navy blue to my face and then going back in with the foundation brush and patting in the Cinderella blue just to make sure that everything is seamless and that my skin doesn't peek through. This is going to take you some time, so take time with this, but as you'll see, it's just going to give your face so much more dimension and character, and you're going to start looking more like a cartoon. Now, like I said, this is clearly optional. You do not have to do this step. I did it just to make my face look a little bit more slimmer, a little bit more like a cartoon, very chiseled, something that I feel like Sally would look like if she was a real character or someone who was a real person. But definitely make sure you blend, blend, blend. The more you blend, the better you'll look, my friend. Now I'm actually going to go back in with the navy blue and contour my nose. Like I said, Sally has very, very slim features, but one of the most slimmest parts of her face is her nose. So I'm going in and I am contouring my nose, and I'm also creating an upturned nose. So by doing that, you kind of want to make it look as though it's a scarecrow nose. And you definitely want to blend this out as well. I had a big issue with this as my white wasn't as opaque as I would like it to have been on my nose. So you'll see I constantly have to blend everything out, go back in with the Cinderella blue to blend out the darker blue, and it was a process, but at the end of the day, I did like the way it turned out. This was my first time contouring my nose. I'd never done it before, and now I know. It's not something I want to do on an everyday basis, but for a cartoon character, I will gladly do this step. After blending everything out, I went in with a fluffy brush and made sure that everything was opaque on my eyes, basically anywhere that I saw a little bit more of my skin peeping through. Now we're going to move on to the eyes, and we're going to go in with Midnight Blue. It's an eyeshadow by Ben Nye, and we're going to be creating the circled eyeshadow look that she has. Now, my eyes are more almond shaped, so I had a bit of difficulties with this, so I decided to go with more of a glamorous Sally. If you wanted to do the half circle, definitely go ahead and do so. I did the best I could with my eye shape, but you're just going to go all over your eye, under your lower lash line, but make sure you make that completely opaque in your crease and under your lash line, just to make your eyes look fuller and bigger and more circular. Then I'm going to go in with the Take Me to Brazil palette, and I'm going in with these two blue eyeshadows, and I'm applying that to the center of my lid. I'm just going to give my look a little bit more dimension and bring in the little teal that she has on her eyes. To deepen up the crease even more, I'm going to go back into Midnight Blue and sweep that into the crease, just making sure that everything is hollowed out and opaque. I feel like the key word to this tutorial is opaque. Opaque, opaque, blend, blend, blend. Then I'm going to tightline my upper lash line and only my upper lash line with a black liner. And then I'm going to be using a liquid liner, this is by Jessie's Girl, and we are going to define that upper lash line. Now make sure you do not create a wing. Sally does not have a wing, but she does have that circular eye. So this is just going to define that eye even more. And you want to make sure that you bring this under your lower lash line as well. This is going to make your eyes look super, super wide and circular. As you can see, my eye looks so much bigger now. So you're basically just following your lash line, but make sure that you do not wing it out. Then take your favorite mascara and apply that to the top lashes. Do not apply it to the bottom lashes, as we are going to be working on that bottom lash line right now. So to make your eyes look a little bit bigger, we're going to go in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. This is going to make your eyes look super, super white and circular, just like Sally. And so you're just going to be applying that to your waterline. Now to define your lower lashes a little bit, I'm going to be taking a bottom lash mascara and applying that to my bottom lashes. For this look, I decided to go with massive lashes, so I took these Ardell Double Up False Lashes, and they are in the number 205, and I just applied them to my eyes. They're going to make your eyes look so much bigger than what they actually are, and it just gives you so much more character and glam, just like Sally would. I feel like if Sally was a real character, she would definitely have over-the-top lashes. Now we're going to move on to the eyebrows. Now this part is clearly optional, as Sally doesn't have eyebrows, but I'm basing it off of the picture that I showed you at the beginning of the tutorial. So I'm using this red lip liner by NYX. It's the Suede lip liner in Alabama, and I'm just gently defining my brows. I'm making them a little bit slimmer, kind of circular, but not giving them too much character as I typically would in my everyday life. To make my life a little bit more easier, I'm going to go back in with that same lip liner, and I'm going to be outlining my lips and filling them in. Now Sally has pointed lips and has a very defined Cupid's bow, so I made sure that I tried to recreate that as best as I possibly could. Now I'm going to go back in with the navy blue, and I'm going to define that lower lash line a little bit more. Since we're not applying too much mascara on the bottom lashes, I wanted to make sure that my bottom lash had a little bit more definition and looked more circular and gaunt. Now we're going to move on to the stitches. So I went in with the MAC Fluidline, and I used a pencil brush just to create the line. I feel like this makes a very messy look, but I feel like her stitches would be messy since it was by a crazy doctor. Then to fill it in and make them look a little bit more opaque, I went in with the black from the BH Cosmetics palette, and I just pressed it on top. Now I realized that I really wanted my lips to look a little bit more blood red, so I went in with this Jouer lip cream and just applied it right on top of the lip liner, making sure it's completely opaque and just looks completely bloody. That's the best I can say it is. It just looks like a blood red. Now that my lips are filled in, I decided to go back to the stitches. Now what I would recommend is actually taking a picture of Sally and using that as a guideline for where you're going to be placing your face stitches. If you mess up, that's the beauty of creating an outline. You can just blend it out with your finger and it's not too much of a mess. Then once you figure out the line, you're going to go back in with the black shadow and lock everything into place. Now for the actual stitches, I'm going back in with the pen liner, and I'm just going to be drawing in the stitches the way that I want to. She has more spaces in between, but I decided to give myself a little bit more stitches. So just apply them any way you want. Get creative with it. If you want more stitches, do more stitches. If you want more spaces in between, go ahead and do so as well. This part was a little bit more difficult on my body, and I feel like I did it wrong, but you know what? It's okay. You just want to create the stitches, like I said, exactly how she has the stitches. So she has one going up her chest that's connected to her dress, and then she has one on the middle portion of her neck. Now my neck was a little too short for this, so what I had to do was I actually had to go back in with the white and cover it up. So I did want to show you how I did cover up the stitch. I went in with the white, blended it all out, and then I went back in with the blue and covered that up, and then went back in with the black as though it never happened, and it blended in seamlessly, and you definitely couldn't tell that there was a line underneath it. All you have to do now is add on your wig and you are complete. My wig is by Wig is Fashion, and I will leave all links in the description box. But I do hope you enjoyed this look. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share this video if you'd like. But with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
I said